Happy Saturday morning, all. Thank you for joining me today for our 23rd episode of Saturday Morning Coffee. I'm Nolan, the lead writer of Dime Novel Adventures. Today we'll be reading the April 2026 adventure, The Skulltaker's Labyrinth. If you're ready, I've got my coffee, so let's dive in. Skulltaker's Labyrinth, April 2026. Go! Run! In this adventure for your favorite role-playing game. Skulltaker's Labyrinth. A level 11 to 13 adventure. Synopsis. In this adventure, the party will find themselves trapped within a magical, shifting labyrinth. They will need to survive the onslaught of the dangerous Skulltaker and its hounds. Written by Flame Reptile. Edited by The One True AZ. Cartographer, The Silent Cartographer. Artists, The Noisy Artographer. Sublarts. Disclaimer. Run from the chopper! Special thanks to Dawn of Dune, The One True AZ, Flame Reptile, Portal Ripper, The Silent Cartographer, Garlic Man, The Angry Ginger, and The Webmaster. Thank you to the Lord, our God, for blessing us with the inspiration to keep going. Call to me, and I will answer you, and will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. Jeremiah 33:3. On the cover, the Skulltaker haunts the shifting labyrinth, pulling the unsuspecting and unprepared into its depths. A mysterious displacement. The player characters will begin this adventure having been taken and displaced from a previous location, whether they were taken while sleeping in the middle of combat or while eating supper. Each player character was taken by a beam of black light into the Skulltaker's labyrinth. The player characters need not to have known nor interacted with each other prior to the start of this adventure. When the adventure begins, each player character will roll on the PC starting location table below to determine which location they will begin in. Once each player character has rolled on the table above, read or paraphrase the following. The last thing you remember is an odd flash of black light. Now, each of you finds yourselves within a 15-foot by 15-foot cubicle room made from some sort of light brown stone. Before you is a single exit from this room, or rather, an entrance into the Skulltaker's labyrinth. To your left is a heavy metal door, without knob, lever, or other means of manipulating it, set into the stone wall. As you get your bearings, a raspy roar echoes throughout the corridors of the labyrinth and into each room. Roll initiative. Odd stonework. The odd light brown stone that composes the shifting labyrinth is an innately magical sandstone colloquially called Jing stone, mined from the abandoned plane of Jing. Jing was abandoned in the 99th year of the Third Age of Elendor due to the sudden appearance of monsters that ravaged the denizens of the plane. Although it is not natively found upon Elendor, rare instances of its existence have appeared upon the plane following the migration of Jing refugees from their home plane. Goods and artifacts crafted from Jing stone are rare and valuable, and prized for their anti-magical properties. Many Jing refugees traded goods made from Jing stone to Elendorian merchants to fund their immigration to their new home. A creature that succeeds on a DC 18 history check can determine that the stone that composes the shifting labyrinth is indeed Jing stone, and recall the significant Elendorian history behind it. Running the adventure. The players are now free to explore the Skulltaker's labyrinth. It is recommended that each player's actions and those of the Skulltaker and Skulltaker's hounds are performed in the initiative order, even if the PC is not in direct combat. So many maps. The Skulltaker's labyrinth features 8 maps, 4 GM maps and 4 player maps. As described in the section The Skulltaker's Labyrinth, the layout of the labyrinth changes periodically. It is recommended for this adventure to project the player map onto the playing surface via screen or projector for ease of switching configurations. Each time the Skulltaker's Labyrinth changes, make sure to match up the non-wall features of the map. For each map, each of the starting locations, S1 through S4, the central space marked L, and the locations of each of the chests and traps are consistent. While the player maps are devoid of guidance, each of the GM maps possesses 4 completed paths to the middle of the labyrinth, 1 for each starting room, for the GM's reference. The Skulltaker's Labyrinth. The Skulltaker's Labyrinth, also known as the Shifting Labyrinth, reconfigures itself periodically, shifting layout between that of maps 1 through 4. Each time the Shifting Labyrinth shifts its configuration, roll on the table below to determine which map will be used. The period of time between each shift can vary, based on the needs of the GM. However, it is recommended that the Labyrinth shifts its configuration every 18 seconds, or 3 rounds. As mentioned above in the section So Many Maps, the location of the starting rooms S1 through S4, Central Room L, and the chests and traps are consistent across all maps. General features. The Skulltaker's Labyrinth is a controlled space designed by the Skulltaker Cybin, the Labyrinth Lord, to facilitate its hunts. Cybin has designed the Shifting Labyrinth with the following general features. The labyrinth is cast in dim light in all locations. Its air is generally clean and safe to breathe. The inner walls of the labyrinth, those that shift, are 1 foot thick and 30 feet tall. The inner walls possess the same properties of the walls produced through the Force Cage spell. The stationary walls of the labyrinth, those that do not shift, are 5 feet thick and 30 feet tall. The stationary walls possess the same properties of the walls produced through the Force Cage spell. At the top of each wall is a ceiling, and at the bottom is a floor. Both are composed of the same type of smooth stone as the inner walls and stationary walls. The ceiling and floor possess the same properties of the walls produced through the Force Cage spell. Shifting Labyrinth locations. Although the walls of the Shifting Labyrinth shift, it possesses many features that are stationary and consistent across each of its configurations. S1 through S4, Quadrant 1 through 4 starting locations. Each of the starting locations are 15-foot by 15-foot rooms made of a light brown magical stone. Each possesses a single exit that enters into the Shifting Labyrinth. On the wall, directly left of each entrance, is a heavy metal door marked G. G. Hound Cages. The Hound Cages are a part of the starting locations, concealing the hounds of the Skulltaker until it is time for them to be released. A creature that succeeds on a DC 15 Wisdom Perception check may hear the snarling and growling of the Skulltaker hounds on the other side. These doors do not possess knobs, levers, or any other means allowed them to be manipulated. However, they can be teleported through. On the other side of each of these doors is a small 15-foot by 15-foot cubicle room that contains 1d4 plus 1 Skulltaker hounds. If any creature enters this space, the Skulltaker hounds will immediately attack it until it is slain. A creature that casts the Dispel Magic spell upon this door will dispel the magics within the wall automatically. That will automatically open it, causing it to be locked until re-enchanted. After 1d4 rounds have passed, these doors will automatically open, releasing 1d4 plus 1 Skulltaker hounds into the labyrinth. The Skulltaker hounds will pour out into the labyrinth to track down and slay the player characters. After the hounds have been released, the door will close again, and 1d4 plus 1 additional Skulltaker hounds will be queued up for future release. Once all Skulltaker hounds from a single hound cage have been slain, these doors will open once more to release additional Skulltaker hounds into the labyrinth, repeating the process. L. Skulltaker's Lair. Within the center of the Shifting Labyrinth is the Skulltaker's Lair. This 15-foot by 15-foot room has 4 entrances. The Skulltaker will begin this adventure within the Skulltaker's Lair. Set upon a pedestal in the center of the Skulltaker's Lair is a crystalline orb, the Crystal Node. As an action, a creature can activate the Crystal Node to do one of 2 things. Reset Chest. A creature that activates the Crystal Node to reset a chest may choose one empty chest within the Skulltaker's Labyrinth. The chest will automatically close itself and a new item will be placed within. Inquiry. A creature that activates the Crystal Node to perform an inquiry will hear a voice emit from the orb. Read or paraphrase the following. As you activate the orb to perform an inquiry, a raspy metallic voice emits from it, saying, "Inquiry node activated. This message has been automatically translated for newly arriving prey. Vessel name, the Shifting Labyrinth. Dragvashar, Labyrinth Lord Cybin. Objective, hunt. Prey objective, survive. Good luck." If a creature performs a second consecutive inquiry, read or paraphrase the following. As you reactivate the orb and perform a second inquiry, the same metallic voice, no longer raspy, emits from it, saying, "Inquiry node reactivated. This message has been automatically translated for newly arriving prey. Greetings, prey. This vessel, the Shifting Labyrinth, has been designed by the Labyrinth Lord Cybin as its hunting ground. The environment within this vessel is controlled by the Labyrinth Lord and subject to alteration. You have been invited here as prey. Your current objective is survival. That's unfortunate. Several tools have been placed throughout the Shifting Labyrinth to aid in your endeavor. 8 chests dispersed throughout the labyrinth contain weapons, items, and medicine that may aid your survival. Good luck." The messages repeat themselves if the orb is activated additional times. If a creature activates the orb, the Skulltaker will be alerted to the activation of the orb. C. Item chests. 8 item chests have been placed throughout the Skulltaker's labyrinth, 2 in each quadrant. A creature may freely open a chest and obtain the items within. Each time a creature opens a chest for the first time, roll on the tables below to determine which item is within. When a creature performs the reset chest action at the crystal node, one chest chosen by the creature may be automatically closed and replenished with a random item. T. Traps. 16 traps have been set throughout the Skulltaker's labyrinth, 4 in each quadrant. When a creature enters a space marked as a trap, roll on the trap table below to determine what type of trap is present. A creature may detect any trap within the Skulltaker's labyrinth with a successful DC 18 Wisdom Perception check, or through magical means. Each of the traps can also be disarmed with a successful DC 18 Intelligence Investigation or Dexterity Sleight of Hand check. Once a trap has been triggered, it can be rearmed by the Skulltaker as a bonus action. The Skulltaker. The Skulltaker, known as the Labyrinth Lord Cybin, will begin this adventure within the Skulltaker's lair, L. It will wait 1d2 turns before it leaves its lair, trekking through the labyrinth to hunt down the player characters. The Skulltaker will utilize stealth and tactics to the best of its abilities to assassinate each player characters. If the Skulltaker reduces a player character to 0 hit points, it may slay it immediately by removing its skull as a trophy to wear upon its belt, or it may use it to set up a trap for other player characters. The Deadly Skulltaker. The Skulltaker is intended to be a deadly, stealthy enemy that hunts the player characters. Before you run this adventure, make sure to speak with your players about the possibility of character death. Defeat. The party is defeated when all members of the party have been slain by either the Skulltaker or the Skulltaker hounds. Read or paraphrase the following. As the last of you falls to the might of the Skulltaker, it lets out a guttural laugh, claiming the last of your skulls to wear upon its belt. The Shifting Labyrinth returns to the Astral Sea, where the Skulltaker, Labyrinth Lord Cybin, conducts successful hunts for many more hundreds of years. Victory. The party is victorious once the Skulltaker has been weakened enough to flee via its hunter's recall. The Skulltaker will return to the control center of the Shifting Labyrinth, returning the player characters to a random location within the plane they came from, and fleeing to the Astral Sea. Read or paraphrase the following. As you deliver what seems like the finishing blow to the Skulltaker, a sigil upon its belt activates, causing it to be teleported away to safety. A few moments pass by in which you remain stranded within the Skulltaker's labyrinth before you feel yourselves also teleported away. You return to a random location within the plane from which you came. You watch the Skulltaker ship above, a massive pyramidal structure streak across the sky and into the Astral Sea before disappearing. The end. This adventure features 8 maps, 4 player maps, 4 GM maps. It also features 2 new unique stat blocks and 8 new magic items. In addition, it features 1 new condition and 4 new traps. There's something else in this labyrinth. Find yourselves teleported to the magical shifting labyrinth of a Skulltaker. Separated, you must find one another and avoid the dangerous purveyor of this dungeon. Navigate through shifting corridors, avoiding traps, monsters, and the Skulltaker itself. Use new combat items, movement items, and healing items to survive the test of the dangerous Skulltaker. A level 11 to 13 adventure for a party of 3 to 6 adventurers. An adventure for use with your favorite fantasy role-playing game. That was the April 2026 adventure, The Skulltaker's Labyrinth. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you liked this adventure, you can find it and many more in our shop on our website at dimenoveladventures.com. While you're there, you should subscribe to our newsletter for weekly updates on our products and projects and join our growing Discord community. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel to see more like it, and let the algorithm know that we're doing all right. But most importantly, remember to keep your weeks adventurous. Have a good week.